Have you sat down and told him, I no longer respect you?
Yes.
Okay. How'd that go?
Um,
It sounds like you're at an or what moment, so I guess I'd ask you, are you done being married to him?
I'm wanting to get help to understand if it's reasonable to stop supporting my husband financially until he gets a job.
Ooh. I imagine there's a lot here, huh?
There's a ton.
Yeah. Let it rip. Let it rip.
Okay, so by trade, he's an accountant.
Okay.
And a couple years ago, he transitioned into the mortgage industry and became a branch manager.
Well, it's been a rough couple of years, huh?
Oh, it was, yeah. And in August of 22, decided that it was no longer a healthy place to be. So exited the mortgage industry, and he spent the last couple of years trying to figure out what the next great job is for him. And unfortunately, there just hasn't been a lot of progress.
So as an accountant over the last 3 years, in one of the most bananas job markets in the history of the United States, where in many places it was a sign-up sheet, right? It was like to get a job. And I know that's not the case across the board, but for a licensed accountant, for somebody who knows how to manage numbers, good God Almighty. And he quit. I was going to say the last 2 years or so, it's been a bloodbath in the mortgage industry. But 22, it was still raining mortgages. All right, so he quit when this thing was hot to trot, right?
Well, it started slowing down in June, and by August, things had really just, for him, dried up.
Okay.
But more than that, it was just sucking the life out of him.
Sure.
And he was miserable. So we agreed it was time for plan B.
But he jumped off the boat without just into the lake. He didn't have another boat to jump into, right?
Correct. Yep. He tried the e-commerce world for about 6 or 7 months. Actually, more like a year.
What does that mean? Like buying and reselling eBay stuff?
Kind of. Yeah.
So he just watches a lot of Instagram reels?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of YouTube stuff.
Have you sat down and told him, I no longer respect you?
Yes.
Okay. How'd that go?
He understood.
Okay.
He apologized, recognized, the failure in providing for the family and, needing to find a job and turn things around.
How have y'all paid the bills the last 3 years?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am the sole income for our family. He has a daughter, and we are not receiving any child support from his ex-wife. So everything is sitting on me financially from end to end.
Is she not your daughter also?
No. I mean, she's my stepdaughter, but no, she's not my daughter biologically.
How long have y'all been married?
A little over 10 years.
So you've had a youngster living with you for 10 years and you don't consider her your daughter?
I do. The relationship is really strange. She's got a lot of trauma with her mom, so she doesn't trust women. And her dad is the end-all, be-all. And so we're more like friends than she's my daughter. Not for lack of trying. It's just the circumstance.
We'll let that be another call. That'll be another call someday.
Yeah.
You can call for that.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
So go back to your question again. What are you asking?
I'm trying to figure out if it's reasonable to stop supporting my husband, to cut up the credit card, to cut up the debit card, and, almost force him to go get a job at Home Depot or something like that to help bring in income so we'll actually support himself as well.
So the answer is you can do whatever you want. You're an adult. You're a grown-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest that is essentially an in-home divorce.
Okay.
That is you choosing to formalize the separation that has already taken place. And it wouldn't be a legal formalization, but it would be a financial formalization. These are your bills. That is your kid. This is my house.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to do that.
But then the next step is he won't, right? He's not forcing him is not going to work. It hasn't yet. You've tried all sorts of ways. I can almost guarantee it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know any married couple in this situation where the wife has lost the amount of respect you've lost. And I'm trusting you that it's not about a dollar amount. It's about like, this is 3 years. And like you said, fine, you don't have your dream job, but like you haven't been working at Home Depot and then going to throw boxes at Walmart until midnight and then getting up at 5 a.m. to drive Uber and then getting up the next day. And just as I know men across the country get up and grind it out on behalf of their families. Forget their dream job, forget their purpose and passion or whatever other BS that is on Instagram. Like they get up and they make things happen. They mow lawns, then they go clean up the church. I remember my dad being a policeman who made hardly anything and then would clean the church on the weekends and then would go mow lawns and even like you do what you got to do. And I've never met a couple in your situation where your sex life is great, where y'all are exercising together or going for walks or hikes or your dating life is great. You get what I'm saying? So it just like the whole relationship's an ash.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you're at an or what moment. So I guess I'd ask you, are you done being married to him?
Not at all.
Okay.
I have every confidence in him that...
You shouldn't have any confidence in him.
Well, I was going to say that when he does something, you know, he does it well.
Like what he's doing right now is nothing, and he's doing that remarkably well.
Well, that is true.
Right.
That is true.
Here's what happens. People in your situation often want to own part of reality. They want to hold on tight to this image that this is a good man, he's a good guy. It's just been 3 or 4 years since he's had a job. He just plays a lot of video games and lets his wife get up and go to work while he's still in bed every day. And then come home and make dinner 3 nights a week or 4 nights a week and like whatever. So and then always has a scheme, right? You want to hold like, no, he's a good man. He loves me, whatever. And on the other hand, he completely abdicated his responsibility to provide for his daughter, provide for his wife, to do anything remotely contributing to the household. Mm-hmm. And what I want to tell you is that's you only holding part of reality. The reality is behavior is a language. Your husband said, I'm out.
I was afraid you were going to tell me that.
Until you rest in that, because now you have impetus to act. You have to do something. Or I mean, actually, you don't have to do anything. You can live like millions of couples do, which is a completely lifeless, bloodless marriage.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you watch TV and scroll, and he watches TV and pornography, and he's just waiting to get the girl out of the house, and he found somebody that'll pay the bills. Because, by the way, he probably doesn't want to be in his skin right now either, does he?
No, not at all. I don't think so.
Is he struggling from depression? Has he gone to see? I'm assuming he hadn't gone to see somebody, right?
No, he hasn't.
Okay.
I think there's an element of it there.
What does he do all day?
Well, it's really weird. So I guess technically he has a job, but he hasn't been paid for anything that he's done. And so
he
I'm
has
in
a
my
hobby.
office.
He has a hobby.
Yes. I'm in my office upstairs. He's in his makeshift office in the bonus room, doors closed. I don't know what he does. I don't hear him on the phone. If I, walk in to ask him a question or whatever, he's sitting at his computer, but I don't know what he's doing. There's no tangible evidence. When I ask him about, this deal that closed, what's it look like getting paid?
Christine, there's no deal. You know there's no deal.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And I think in some ways you're letting the closed door keep you from the conversations that you know you need to have.
And and I just don't know how to have the conversation a different way. It's like
it's not
so
that.
many of them.
So I heard, man, she really challenged me on this. I heard Dr. Becky Kennedy say recently, a boundary is something that requires nobody else to do anything. A boundary's for you. It's a declaration of what you're going to do. And I think that you're at an either or moment. Either I love him, I'm not getting divorced, I'm married to a guy that won't work. I'm married to a guy that is giving yet another troubled picture to his daughter of what marriage looks like. But this is the guy I married, partridge in a pear tree. I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to go on about my life. That's option A. Option B is I've tried every conversation statement. I've tried dressing in sexy things. I've tried these kind of pseudo never again conversations. I've tried everything. And so I'm at the end of my line here. So you get a job by this date, and by job I mean there's a direct deposit happening in our joint checking account, or you are choosing to leave. I don't know another option, because right now you're choosing misery by sitting in the middle.
Yeah.
And you're worth more than being miserable all the time. He is too, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Have you ever asked him, hey, do you want to be married to me?
That was actually a conversation I was planning on having this weekend.
Yeah. And here's what I would do. I would write down your conversation points.
Okay.
And be very clear about using I statements.
Yeah.
And you probably heard me say that a million times, and I know it gets hard when something's like this.
Yeah.
But if you say, I'm tired, and I'm getting the message loud and clear, you don't want to be married to me anymore. I'm ready to go. Like, if that's what you want, I'm ready to have that next step conversation. It's going to break my heart, but I'm not going to hold you here anymore. And I have to have something different in my home. I have to have a husband that contributes, that I can anchor into also.
Okay.
And for whatever it's worth, I know often women know this intellectually, but just speaking from my guts, I don't know that it can be overstated how much dull-eyed men walking around have been told explicitly, implicitly, it's the air we breathe, that the question is, what are you worth? That's the question. And men answer that with a number. I am worth this much. I make this much. Not I make furniture, not I make people have more peaceful lives. I make this many dollars. And so I'm not defending him, but I'm providing a context that sometimes when a wife grabs her husband and says, I don't care about the number, I care about watching the man I love have no purpose, and ultimately the house is the life is leaving this home because the life has left you. So I don't care what the number is right now. I don't know what your financial situation is. That can be a whole other call, but I don't care what the number is right now. I'm assuming you'll have money for groceries, but you got to do something. You have to go regain purpose. And for most people, regain purpose is done in tiny steps, tiny wins. I'm going to go get a job at Home Depot, and I'm going to show up on time, and I'm going to wash my clothes and put on my uniform, and I'm going to help other people have better days. I'm going to go work at Walmart from 8 o'clock p.m. till 2 a.m. I'm going to put on headphones, and I'm going to listen to podcasts, and I'm going to throw boxes. I'm going to stock shelves so that some exhausted mother comes in off her night shift at 6 a.m. and she can get the food she needs and she can get back to her kids. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go provide some value somewhere. The money will follow. But maybe sitting down and say, I know you're not making what you used to, and I know you feel trapped and yada, 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 but forget the money. I'm watching my husband lose purpose, and this has to happen. But at the end of the day, here's you're boxed in, Christine, and I want you to unbox yourself. And that's either accepting what it is, making peace with it, and deciding I'm not going to complain and whine about it. This is what it is, or Here's my line. And then your husband gets to make a terrifying choice. Is he in or is he out? And if he's going to be in, here's what that means very clearly. Let me know how that conversation goes, Christine. And if y'all have that conversation and he wants to give me a call and ask for next steps, I'm happy to walk alongside him too.